In this video, I'm going to show you a client interaction text message conversation I had for a client who's buying a new construction home in Auberon Woods by DR Horton. We're going to work through some key takeaways that you need to be equipped with as a new construction buyer in Myrtle Beach new construction. One, you got to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, you can't pick a floor plan. If you don't know what matters to you most, you can't pick a floor plan. If you can't pick a floor plan, you can't pick a lot. If you can't pick a lot, we're sitting ducks. So, all that being said, we're also going to work through how I would choose a lot and why. I would start with the lot, not the home plan. I would fit the home plan to the lot because resale potential is going to be the difference in you making $50,000 or $100,000 more by buying the right lot. That resale potential depends on the lot. The lot is the differentiator, not the home. The home becomes a commodity when DR Horton stamps out 1,000 homes in Auberon Woods. Tons of them, they're all going to be the same home, just in different variations with slight changes. So the lot becomes the differentiator and is one of the most important factors at resale. Guys, I'm going to show you the juicy details between me and this client. You're going to see the text message conversations. I'm going to work through the most important takeaways. We're going to talk about lot selections. I'm going to give you my top 5 best picks for lots in Auberon Woods, period. And I don't want to hold us up any further, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the video now. If you're thinking about buying a new construction home in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, this video could completely change where and how you buy. Purchasing new construction is all about the deal, and having a solid buyer's broker could be the difference in you building wealth with many of your fellow Americans or making a decision that costs you thousands from day one. Because not all new communities are the same. Builder incentives vary, financing options differ, some neighborhoods hold value better than others, and the amenities that actually matter to everyday homeowners can change from one community to the next. In this series, we're taking you inside new construction communities across Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand, from coastal neighborhoods to fast-growing inland areas, so you can see how they really compare before you make a decision. We'll break down builder incentives, lot purchase and resale strategy, new construction versus resale comparables, and work through your floor plan resale potential. Not only will you see the out-of-pocket expenses to purchase the property, but you'll also get a full breakdown of your first year annual home expenses. We'll take a tour of the on-site amenities, and I'll show you local points of interest that will impact your daily life, like schools, shopping, golf, restaurants, grocery stores, medical, and even highway infrastructure. But we're not just talking about this from a desk. You'll hear directly from on-site sales agents inside each community as I interview them as your buyer's broker, paired with on-location video so you can actually see the homes, feel the neighborhood, and understand the pace and personality of each area. We'll compare communities side by side in each area so that you can see how this community stacks up against the rest of the market, and decide if you can get a better deal elsewhere or if the premium you're paying is really worth the cost. Remember, the biggest wealth builder many Americans have is their primary home. And I'll help you size up this deal to ensure that you'll be able to resell this new construction home, keeping hard-earned money for you and your loved ones. Whether you're a first-time buyer, VA and FHA buyer, growing family, upsizer, newlywed couple, second home buyer, investor looking for a stable new construction rental property, or a retiree, I'll help you find the best community that meets not only your needs, but also positions you for long-term value and resale. By the end of this video, you won't just know what's being built, you'll understand why some communities stand out, which ones fit your budget and lifestyle, and where buyers are getting the most value today so that they can make the most at resale. So whether you're relocating, upgrading, downsizing, buying your first home, or planning for the future here in Myrtle Beach, this series will give you the clarity and confidence to make a smart move. All right, guys, let's get into this client interaction that I recently had. These are some of the text messages of working with a new construction client that's considering Auberon Woods out in Conway, South Carolina, a DR Horton community, Carolina Forest, which is a master plan community of over 35,000 residents. It's a little bit more inland. And then there's also Crescent Cove, which is, yes, still more inland as well. But she's going back and forth about all these. And I want you just to get the inside scoop of, of what the new construction process looks like, what other clients are asking about and working through, so that you can gain answers to some of the things that maybe you haven't thought about yet, and or things you need to be thinking about. So the text says, thank you for sending those over last night. I was sending her some paperwork. She asked about lot selections, and we got a map of the community and stuff like that. Did Elizabeth happen to send you the upgrade option? So Elizabeth is the on-site rep for DR Horton, one of the reps I work with. The client likes to have a little bit of distance between the rep and herself by having a buyer's broker. In other words, basically, I can put on the strong front, make all the demands and do all the heavy negotiating, deal with all the quote-unquote stress of the circumstance so that my client doesn't have to. And I can also read between the lines of what the representative is saying, what I know about how builders act, strategy, inventory, and give her feedback on those kinds of things so that she knows whether the rep is being accurate, or if we can dig deeper into an area, or if there's a potential place to negotiate with the builder. And so that's the advantage of having a buyer's broker like myself helping you. You don't got to do the heavy lifting. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to make sure that you get the best deal. Now, did Elizabeth happen to send you the upgrade options? I'm specifically looking for things like the gourmet kitchen, cabinets in the laundry room, adding a larger slider, French doors in the dining room to make it an office. A lot of these DR Horton homes come with a flex space, so you can do exactly that, just so that you know. And the gourmet kitchens are nice. And the color palette choices. When I was touring some of these homes this past weekend, I did see a few of these features added, but I'm just not sure if they're available on the Alder. Now the Alder is a model there. She was interested in the Alder and the Harbor Oak. So here's the deal, guys. Certain options are available on certain models. Certain options and upgrades are not available on other models. That's part of picking a model. Additionally, picking a model is one of the first things that you want to get right, because it's going to determine what lots work best for you. So there's kind of two ways to go about this. To be honest with you, the lot is the differentiator in a lot of ways. In other words, the homes really start to act a lot like commodities later on down the road when they become resale homes. So, it's a lot of the same stuff all over the neighborhood. Therefore, the lot and the lot selection is super, super important up front. Me personally, I would tell you to find the best lots and then find the plans that go on the best lots, and see if there's any plans that you can live with or that will work well for you on the right lot. If your most important goal is resale potential, if you're trying to get the biggest bang for your buck out of your home when you go to resell it, then I'd start with the lot, then I'd choose the plan. Now, where that's a rub for a lot of people is, a lot of people go, well, I'm not just going to get a house based on a lot, because, even though I might make an extra $50,000 when I sell my property, maybe $100,000, who knows? There's no guarantee. But even though I might make extra money, I still want to get a home or a plan that I really like, that's very, very practical for me. Well, compromise is the way that you really, really win, guys. And so if you're after the best deal with the greatest resale potential, you choose the lot first. You find the best lots in the neighborhood, the top 5. Then you find out what plans go on those lots. Then from there, you choose a plan. That's one way to go about it. That's going to maximize your resale potential. You might not get the exact best plan that could be the perfect, ideal, practical fit for you, but you could get a plan that you can live with that works really well for you and still get the most resale potential, making that extra $50,000 or $100,000 at resale 10 years up the road. Just saying. The lot is the differentiator, not the plan. They're making tons of alders in that neighborhood of 1,000 homes. There's going to be lots of them. So they're more like a commodity, and all the other plans. So you got to deal with the reality that eventually the homes become commodities and the lots are the differentiator. You want a lot that's got waterfront. You want a lot that's got a scenic view. You want a lot with a larger lot with lots of space in between the homes, in between those neighboring homes. You want a lot next to open space, a lot with privacy, a lot on a cul-de-sac, a lot near an amenity center. These are going to be the things. You want a lot away from the entrance or away from intersections where there's going to be a lot of traffic. These are things that are going to be very, very important when picking a new construction community. That's just the bottom line. And those are the differentiators in who's going to have a property that they can sell at a premium in the future, or a property that acts like a lot of the other neighborhood homes and you can't really get a premium for. There's nothing super scarce about it. So, you know, you can't really get and demand top dollar for it. Now back to that text message, guys. It says, when I was touring some of these homes this past weekend, I did see a few of these features added, but I'm just not sure if they're available on the Alder. After watching a bunch of videos last night, I just don't think I'm going to find a home in Carolina Forest in my budget that I'd be happy with. Carolina Forest is a master-built community of over 35,000 residents, and it's nearly built out. In other words, when I did a new construction search in Carolina Forest recently, there were, I think, only like 18 new construction listings left on the market in the area. You know, some of those, the more well-known places, Waterbridge. Man, Waterbridge is an excellent new construction community. There was another builder, Chesapeake Homes, out there, another builder, Beazer. So there are some new construction builders out there. But what I want you to be aware of is Carolina Forest is more inland. It's going to be more in the hustle and bustle of Myrtle Beach. You are going to have some traffic in that area because it's a high demand area, a high growth area, in my opinion. You know, you're going to hit 15, 20 minutes worth of traffic coming in and out of town, especially around, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. when everybody gets off work, especially early in the morning, 6 or 7 to 8 a.m. when everybody's going to school and going to work. There's definitely going to be some traffic there. So it's a great, well-built place, lots of shopping, lots of grocery, Tanger outlets are there, lots of restaurants. It's got everything that you need, and you're only about 15 minutes from the beach. So kind of hard to beat. Now, one of the things I want to point out is she talked about her budget. She said, I'm not going to be able to afford what I want in Carolina Forest. Yet it's only 15 to 20 minutes more inland than the neighborhood she's looking at. So here's the rule there. The closer you get to the beach, the less home you get for your money. The further away you get from the beach, the more home you get for your money. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, guys. So in Carolina Forest, a comparable home with all the same options as Auberon Woods might be another $200,000. She might be paying $750 for a home that she's only paying $550 for over in Conway, or $650. Let's just say it's $100,000 more, maybe $150,000 more. So that's the kind of things you have to compare. And we're only talking about a 15-minute drive. Carolina Forest is only 15 minutes away from Auberon Woods or so. So closer you get to the beach, everybody wants to be here, close to the beach. A lot of people like that. Now, my particular client, she was comfortable being further inland, being 30, 35 minutes away from the beach. She comes from 4 acres of land on a custom-built home out in Massachusetts, so she's totally fine being a little bit further out from all the hustle and bustle. She actually likes that, and she prefers that. That's why Auberon Woods was a really good fit for her. Now, I did go into the MLS, and I did pull all of the new construction communities that were in the same area as Auberon Woods. There was 87 current listings on the market that are new construction in just the same area as Auberon Woods. So lots of competition out there for her to look through, lots of other home choices for her to make sure that Auberon Woods is the right fit. Timing the market matters just as much as picking the home. Understanding end of quarter and end of year builder pressure, knowing when to target inventory homes versus to be built opportunities, and recognizing early phase versus late phase pricing can dramatically change your outcome. I believe financing is where deals are truly won or lost. Interest rate differences, temporary versus permanent buy downs, choosing the right loan type like VA, FHA, or conventional, and knowing when to use lender credits versus builder lender incentives can impact your payment for more than the purchase price. I believe when all of these elements are aligned correctly, you're not just buying a home, you're engineering a deal that works for you on day one and positions you to win again at resale. If you're still early in the process, start by watching a few more of these community breakdowns. Then when you're ready, we'll build your strategy together. And if you want to make sure you're not overpaying, missing incentives, or choosing the wrong community, reach out. I'll help you compare the entire market and structure a deal that works for you and not the builder. Call me now at 843-360-1737 and let's map out your strategy the right way. All right, so she goes on and says, they're beautiful homes out in Carolina Forest, but of course it seems like the ones that I like would be significantly more. She's got taste. I'm not even mad at her. And I'm not sure I want to deal with the traffic. Now, traffic there is not like traffic in the big cities. If we're talking 15 to 20 minutes of rolling traffic, really only 2 times a day, early in the morning or later in the afternoon around 5, 6 o'clock. Now, she says, I will definitely check these communities out when I come down in July, but I'm strongly leaning towards Auberon Woods. Then you can see in the email, I sent her a quote on some upgrade options. I said, yes, I think you're on the right track. Carolina Forest is going to be considerably higher price for what you're looking for. There's a quote with most of the alder options included. She said, that is very helpful. Thank you. Definitely nice to know. I can add whatever I want and still be in my budget. Now, here's where we were. She added most of the alder options, and it was about $20,000 worth of add-ons. However, come to find out, there was a greater list with more options available, and she could spend significantly more money. But more on that later. She said, please feel free to get back to me next week. I don't want to take any of your weekend time away from family. But when you have time, you could let me know if the HOA in Auberon Woods allows sheds. Now, here's the deal, guys. I work 24/7 for my clients all the time. My phone stays on all the time. You can call me morning, afternoon, evening. Clients call me at 5, or texting me at 5 in the morning, texting me at 10, 11 o'clock at night. Guys, I work all the time for my clients. It's part of being excellent, offer excellent service. So don't worry about that. Then you can see we narrowed down her updated options list there. Phase 9 is the next phase that's being built out in Auberon Woods. Now, here's the deal. She was at a crossroads. She needed to figure out, should she buy in phase 9 or should she wait until phase 10 comes out and buys? Because she doesn't plan on moving until next year. Now, currently, it's June. She wants to wait until school is over next year and then move into her home so she doesn't move her child during high school or middle school, something like that. But the point is this. Here's how the process works. Phase 9 is just about to be rolled out around the 15th or 17th of June, we're hoping. Those lots will come available and then we can start paying deposits down on them. The construction process itself takes at least 5 months. Generally, it takes at least a year. It takes about a year to a year and a half for the next phase, phase 10, to roll out. So if she were to wait until phase 10 rolls out, it will be well beyond June of next year. It'll be around June of next year, and then she'll have to wait 5 months at least for construction, which would put her beyond her deadline for her child, and therefore it'd be a lot smarter for her to go ahead and move now in phase 9 instead of waiting for phase 10. Generally, the next phase is released based on how fast the previous phase sold in a new construction community. It takes generally a year to about a year and a half. That's a guess, and there's no guarantees on that. If the home sells super fast, they might build in 9 months. If it takes a little bit longer, it might be a year and a half. So you got to kind of time your move based on where you're at in the current phase and when the next phase will hit the market. And it's just a guess, and that's all we can do is our best guess when making your plans for your move. Now, she was pretty set on the alder plan, which was great because once we got her alder plan, then we knew then I reached out to the representative and I got the lots that fit the alder plan. And there are only certain lots that will fit that type of layout home. Well, once we got the lot numbers, then we could dive into lot selection. We could dive into which are the top 5 best lots for the alder plan based on resale value and her personal preferences. Now, I just did it based on resale value real quick. The top 5 best lots in Auberon Woods for the alder plan are 544, 541, 542, 499, and 491. Now, she said, thank you. I very much appreciate this. My husband and I are going to try to come down in June. We just need to work out some dates. I think maybe it's important that I get down there a little sooner than July. Now, this phase 9, the lots are going to hit the market. We're predicting they're going to hit the market around June 15th to June 17th. So the whole point is this. If she waits until July, somebody else might get the jump on her and buy the top 5 best lots. So she should, and I'm with her, she should definitely be getting down here sooner than July if she needs to lay eyes on Carolina Forest and her other community options before she makes a decision. Yes, she needs to get down here in July, look at everything that she needs to look at, cross every T, dot every I, and pay a deposit on a premium lot as soon as they come out. Now, here's the other caveat. The lots are being competed over by multiple buyers. There's other buyers out there waiting on those lots to hit right now, and they want the best lot too. So when you make an offer, it's got to be a competitive offer, and know that if you get outbid, it's going to go to somebody else. All right, I said then we'll compare and contrast ideas around them to arrive at the best fit for you, talking about the best lots. I think that's a smart idea. Honestly, getting a jump, because it's a huge decision that impacts the next part of your life, on this is better than leaving things up to chance or giving other buyers the advantage because they were better prepared and on it. So ultimately, all the DR Horton reps are talking to all the buyers that are calling in about Auberon Woods and saying phase 9 is going to hit June 15th to 17. Phase 9 is going to hit June 15 to 17. And so there's tons of other buyers chomping at the bit to buy the best lots. She said, absolutely. Any idea what the lot prices are on these? No, we don't know just yet. My general opinion on lots are, I don't necessarily need a giant backyard. My kids are big. I don't need to swing set. I do, however, want some backyard. I care very much about the sides of my house being close to my neighbor, so side-by-side space matters a lot to me. A water view, I could take or leave. It doesn't really do anything for me. Haha. It's pretty, but my side-by-side space from my neighbors is more important. So she knows what is important to her. She knows what she wants. That is a big takeaway here, guys. How many buyers are out there that can't tell you what they want in a new construction home? Lots of them. And if you don't know what you want and know what's a priority for you, then how can you pick a home or a plan? I can help you pick the best lot, but I can't necessarily help you with your personal preferences. You have to know those things. Now, moving right along. A water view, I can take or leave. It doesn't really do anything for me, haha. But my side-by-side space from my neighbors is important. I said, I get that for livability, totally. But how important is resale to you on a scale of 1 to 10? She said, well, realistically, I have sold each house that I have built after 5 years. Haha. So although I have no plans to sell this home and think this will probably be our forever home, my track record says otherwise. Haha. So if a water lot makes more sense, I have absolutely nothing against it. Great. It's not that I don't want to be on the water. It's just that I don't really care either way. Curb appeal is a big deal for me. So what's a big deal for her is plenty of space in between the lots. The yard doesn't have to be big, and she needs some curb appeal, honestly. Now, those aren't necessarily great things for resale. You want a larger lot generally. You want to be on the water. Curb appeal is going to help for sure, but it's nothing that landscaping can't fix. Anyways, I said, should have lot prices next week. They aren't out yet. Perfect. I guess I would probably ask, if you had to pick a lot, which would you pick? I'd like to go into July with a first, second, and third choice, so we were prepared. I'm hoping I can make a trip down in June. I said, let me look over it again, and I'll follow up on my lot choice. Now, guys, here's the deal. I did a whole video on my lot choice, the lots that I would pick, the lots that are the top 5, the lots that I would completely avoid, and I break down all the reasons why. Click the screen right now to watch that video.